Well, hello everybody, and this is Auntie, and I am here to talk about straw. I just want to start off by saying, usually, I hate Tyler Perry's movies. As a matter of fact, I don't even watch most of them. But for some reason, I was compelled to watch this movie on Netflix, and I want to have a discussion about it. Did you see yourself? Here is why this movie shocked me. Let's talk about it. The truth. Shall we? Oh, yes, we shall. A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers, to my listening reviews. All the y'all who have been here through the long haul. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for Auntie Advice. It's time for Auntie Advice. It's time for Auntie Advice. Well, welcome back, everybody. And this is Auntie, and I'm showing all my goods. I'm hoping that you all are having a great Saturday on purpose. Y'all, look, there is a new movie on Netflix. I believe it was released on the 6th, which means yesterday. And I am trying to tell you, I was absolutely floored by this movie for so many reasons. And I wanted to come out and have a conversation with you all. Did you see yourself in this movie? My God. Let me give you what the premise of this movie is. It is about a single mother who navigates a series of unfortunate events, leading her down an unforeseen path where she becomes embroiled in a situation she never envisioned, finding herself at the center of suspicion in a different world. This movie was directed and produced by Tyler Perry. And it has some of our favorite stars in it. Taraji, Henson, of course, is the main character. We had Teyana Taylor, Sinbad showed up, Sherri Shepherd, Ashley Vester, Rockman Dunbar, Mike Morrell, Glenn Turman, and Chalet Monique. I don't remember what she played. Oh, she played. Okay. Y'all, it is currently showing up on being featured on Netflix. And if you have not already watched it, maybe after this review and this discussion that we have, you will be compelled to either watch it or not watch it. Please feel free to comment down in the comment section, a live comment chat, and let us know what you thought about this movie and all the ins and outs of it. And also make sure if you are coming for the replay that you let us know down in the comment section. Don't forget, if you have not already subscribed, to hit the subscribe button and make sure you turn on your notification bell so that when I go live, you go live right along with me. Okay. Let me tell y'all something. This was an absolute thriller with ups and downs. And as I started, I usually don't like Tyler Perry's movies. I think that it is the same old song, like over and over with just a little bit, of change here and there. But this one didn't strike me the same way. And so we meet, just one second. Let me make sure. Just one second. Just one second. So I believe her name was pronounced Janiyah. Janiyah Wilkerson is a single mother, and we see her at the beginning of this movie in a run down apartment. They scan over all of the medicine in the kitchen and the messiness in the house. We are automatically brought into the hood, if you will, and into the life of a mother who seems like her life is in shambles and she's barely making it. As the movie opens up, right, y'all, we hear this loud thumping music coming from her ceiling. And we see her laying in the bed, sprawled out with her daughter. And y'all, was her name Janiyah? I think it was Janiyah. And we see her laying with her daughter in the bed, and her daughter has on earphones. It looks like it's extremely hot in the house, and that she just cannot get any relief. So it just really stood out to me that this was a woman who was impoverished and living basically in squander, and just kind of making the best out of what it is. We learned very early on in the movie that her daughter has an illness or something that is going on with her that causes her to have seizures. And she is getting her up. We see her bathing her daughter the night before. The daughter, wants to be independent. She seems like she's a sweet little girl, and she takes a tumble in the tub. And because she's trying to have her little independence and stuff, and so of course we see her pampering to her daughter and just trying to make sure that her daughter is okay and all that kind of stuff, right? And of course she went to school, and they see these scars and stuff like that on her back. And so when they opened up this particular episode, there was something, right, that started off very, very early on. We see her walking down the hallway with some doctors and everything behind her with her baby in her arm. And so I'm just, like, okay, what is going on? What is symbolic about this? It looks like the people in the back are, I guess it depends on how you took it in the beginning, but I was looking at it in the beginning like they were happy to see that, her baby had been in the hospital and it was finally going home. Now, I'm telling you, this is what I saw. You let me know down in the comment section what you all think. Okay. She is bathing Araya. Okay. Or was it? I think it's Araya. And she wants her not to touch her science project. And so her daughter expresses frustration over being unable to bathe herself and tells her mom that her teacher announced her mother couldn't afford her lunch. And so, of course, her as a mom, she's upset about it, but tries to focus basically on getting out to work and dropping her off at school. So on her way out, she gives some change to a neighbor who's in a wheelchair. We can tell that she's in poverty. She lives in poverty, and she gives her neighbor some change. She said, I don't have a lot, but I'm gonna give you some change anyway. And of course, who do we see in a wheelchair? It is Sinbad. And as many of us know, Sinbad did have some struggles with his health. And so it was good to see Tyler Perry putting a little bit of coin downtown in his pocket. And so, like I was just like, wow, oh my God, that's Sinbad. I kind of rewinded it back and just to kind of look at what condition he was in. I don't know whether or not um where they made him look like a homeless man and everything. But I must say, I grew up on Sinbad. I used to go to the Sinbad Soul Music Festivals back in the 90s. And so, it was just great to see him again. And yeah, so we see her hustling and bustling and, like I said, taking her daughter to school. And so, she's really upset because, this teacher has said something, about her baby, eating this special food instead of, having the money. The money that she needed for it was $40, right? She needed $40 in order to pay for it. And she had mentioned to us at the beginning of the film that she was going to get paid. She kept saying, "Today is my payday. I'm going to get the money. I'm going to have it." As she's leaving out, we also see her landlord yelling off of a balcony. It looks like it's like in one of those, ran down apartment buildings, and she's a landlord, and she's telling her that she's late on her rent, and that if she doesn't have her rent, she's gonna have her put out, right? Now she says this, she went to the court and all of that kind of stuff, but I'm just wondering why she wouldn't have. Well, no, she did have an eviction notice that was sitting on her table, but she felt like she could work something out with her neighbor, and she asked, with her landlord, who also lived in the building, and she asked if they could turn the music down. And she said, he ain't turning no music down. He pays the rent up in this mother, okay? And so we see, just her life, right? And they're trying to tell us a story about who she is, what's going on with her. So I'm sure that every one of us, who looked at this film assumed, okay, she's a mother who is really struggling, a single mother. There was never a father in the film anywhere. Of course, we know that there's probably a father around somewhere, but he did not appear in the film. So I'm looking at it and everything, and we see her, basically talking to her daughter. Again, they have already specified and told us that the little girl's having problems and stuff. And so she drops her off at the school, and we see, again, I'm going to kind of show you all some things. So we see her when she drops her daughter off at the school, and she waves at the principal. We see the little girl get out of the car and walk into the school building and everything. And we see, her wave to the principal, and the principal has this like look on her face, like, what the hell is going on? And so, at that time, we don't know what it is. We're thinking that, she has an issue with the principal. Okay, this is where I was. I'm thinking she had a issue with the principal and everything. And this is why, she's acting the way that she's acting, right? Because, the threat, the $40 and all of that kind of stuff. And, she has to go to work. And she's going to get this $40 plus she's going to be able to catch up on her rent so that she is not evicted out of the apartment that she lives in. And I'm sure, I don't want to sound insensitive, but I'm just like, okay, the way that she's living, be in that apartment like that, I know it's better to have like walls around you or whatever, but I'm thinking, can she not afford something else, or is that just like being out at home, being out of homeless? Because when I listen to the music that's thumping and all of that kind of stuff and just the disarray, I'm like, god damn. So so anyway, we watch her, she's got to go to work, right? Because of course today is her payday. And so, she's saying that she's got to go to work, X, Y, and Z, knick-knack, patty-rake, give a dog a bone. And we're just watching her, go through. She goes over to the bank, right? There's a bank. She works in like a shopping center. So she goes to the bank, and, she knows that she has $47 in the bank. And so she walks up to the bank manager and asks, I was trying to withdraw $40 out of my bank account, and I don't understand why I can't. Now, the bank manager is played by Sherri Shepherd, and her character's name is Nicole. And so she says, well, here at this bank, you have a minimum requirement, of money that you have to keep in your account. And because you did not have that, right, you cannot reclose the account out. And so after, she, closes the, goes through all of that, she needs her money, whoop de whoop de whoop. She realizes what's going on. She goes to work. Now, when she gets to work, she has the nastiest manager in the whole entire world. They look like they're in a supermarket, maybe one of those discount supermarkets, okay? And there's one cashier there. The line is basically in the back of the building, like a snow day here on the East Coast. When they tell us it's going to snow, okay, the supermarket lines are in the back of the store. But unfortunately for them, they only had one cashier. The other cashier had called out. And so the manager is, like, okay, I need y'all to, what's going on? You need to get your butt out there on the floor. And she's like, okay, today is my payday. I'm gonna go ahead and do this work, whoop whoop. I'm gonna cover for this girl. Now, mind you, she has two jobs. She's already told us she's stressed out and she has two jobs and she's taking care of a sickly baby. And so while she gets out there on the floor, she gets herself together, she goes out on the cashier floor and she's ringing up, groceries and everything. Now, of course, this is a manager who is talking to her like she's nothing. Get your ass out there and get this work done, just a nasty mother, okay? The kind of person that, when you in your right mind, that you will walk out, right? If you're not in desperate or anything like that, right? You just walk your butt up out of there. So anyway, he's nasty as dog dude, okay? And I mean, when I say dog dude, y'all, I'm talking about dog dude. Dog dude. So walks out there on the floor. She starts bringing up things. The girl cussed her out and was like, why are you taking your time coming up here? Get your ass up there, behind that register and start ringing up our groceries. So as she's doing that, right, she's ringing up this customer. The customer gives her gives her a card. And she said, I'm sorry, ma'am, you got things that are on here that won't be able to be paid with, like, let's just say your food stamp card or your WIC card. I think that's what she said. And so the girl was like, okay, I want you to pay. I want to, I'm not paying for shit, right? And so she's like, I'm sorry, our store policy is that, you're going to have to give us $37. Some of these things are covered under WIC, the other ones not. And so, of course, she gets mad. Of course, she got some bum ass ninja with her, right? And so the ninja decides that when he's walking out the door, she's like, we ain't gonna get none of it, whoop. And so, of course, he goes and he grabs the soda off the counter and throws it down at her feet. And so glass is all busted down at her feet and everything. And so, of course, she leaves and she goes to the back, right? Because, she just stressed the hell out. And so when she goes to the back, and she starts, doing what she do and, trying to, I guess, clean the mess up. She gets a phone call. And the phone call is the school telling her that she has to come up to the school, that there's, some stuff going on with her daughter and she got to bring the damn $40. So she goes to her nasty ass boss and she asks her boss, can I leave? I gotta leave because I need to go up to the school. The school is asking me for this money. Can you give me my paycheck? And he's like, hell no, you ain't getting your paycheck. You ain't even worked. You just got here. We short staffed or whatever, right? And then you want your damn paycheck? No, I need you to get out there on that floor and work. Now, mind you, his joint looked like he got roaches running through there on a regular basis and rats just chewing up the cereal boxes, bitch. So I mean, he don't have the best thing anyway. But anyway, it is what it is, right? And so, he tells her you got a half hour to get up to that school and go and get everything done downtown at the school. So she, like I said, and I put it out of place, but I'm gonna put it back in place. This is when she goes across the street to the bank because she hasn't been able to get the cat to check. She goes and that's when Nicole tells her, I'm sorry, your account was closed, but you can still cash the check or whatever, we'll do it. Woo. So she goes to the school. She's frantic. She is frantic. She goes to the school and she's met by CPS or DHS, wherever you live. And they got her baby by the arms. It's three of them. It's the boss bitch. And it's two other women that work with, and they got the baby grabbing her by the arm and they're pulling her up the stairs. And they're telling her that they saw these marks on her daughter, that the daughter is coming to school filthy, basically. She's not eating, it's just all kinds of stuff. And so she's looking at the principal. She's going off on the principal, right? Y'all remember she was the one that was standing outside of the school, and they're like, "We're taking your baby." And she's like, "My baby is sick. She's got medicine that she has to have. Don't make her upset right now." The little girl is screaming while they're dragging her backwards up the stairs, and she is fucking hysterical. She wants to keep her baby. She believes that this is about the $40. She's trying to explain to them that the reason why she has the bruises on her back is because, she was in a bathtub trying to be independent, but they need to, back down off of her and everything like that, right? Because the little girl has seizures. And so the thing that she does not want to happen is for her daughter to have seizures. Now, mind you, y'all, she only got 30 minutes to be there. This is her fucking payday. This is the day that she believes is going to, stabilize her life. And she gets down to the school thinking that all she's got to do is pay this $40. She ain't even got this shit. And they taking her baby. And her baby got medical issues. Can you imagine the mind space that you will go into? Well, her ass went to that mind space and more. So she's all jacked up in the head. She goes back down to the grocery store. I hope I'm not missing anything. She goes back down to the grocery store. But before she gets there, it's raining. It's pouring down raining. And this person hits her or almost hits her in the car. She's driving in the car. He gets mad. He said, "I got her ass." So he runs up on her and hits her, spins her into a 360 turn, 360, bitch, a 360 turn. She is devastated by it. He jumps out. He's a cop. Thank you so much, Tanya Lewis, for the 1999 Super Chat. Thank you for doing this review. Thank you for being here. Love you. Send my love to Send my love to that wifey. Okay. And you're looking great working out, girl. I'm trying to tell you, you look great. I need you to work me out before this birthday party, okay? All righty then. Thank you, boo. She looks, he comes up on her. He is trying to intimidate her, arrest her. He has another girl, another cop that comes up on her, and they going through the bullshit with her. Because he's mad because she almost, and now mind you, she's distracted. She goes back to the apartment and all her stuff is on the ground. I'm talking about the baby medicine, like everything. The neighbor upstairs done put her ass out. Didn't even wait for her to bring the $40 back. Just put her ass out. At this point, she's fucking losing it. Everything is piling up on her, y'all. Her boss tells her he's unsympathetic. Go clean that up. When Janiyah comes back and she accidentally cuts this man off in traffic, that will make anybody spiral. Because, bitch, don't nobody want to have an accident, but you got all this stuff that's going on. They impound her car. Now she's begging them Do not impound my car. I need my car. He's hysterical. He had already threw a drink at her. He ran her ass up off the road. Like he done did the most. And they impound her car due to expired documents. When she gets back to work, it's 2 hours later. And of course, her nasty boss fires her, but won't give her her paycheck. Now, he knows it's payday. He knows he's got that payday check in that daggone building. Why he took her through this crap? Because he could. And he was a mother. And now he's running a grocery store with one cashier. As far as we know, there's only one cashier there. But he makes sure that he fires her. She said, well, let me get my check. Let me get my check. So I can pay this $40. I can pay my rent. I can come up to. How many people realize that in America, yes, good old America, that most people are 2 paychecks away from homelessness? Her ass is one. One. He know the paycheck is on the fucking desk. And he says, because you fired, now I gotta mail it. You ain't getting shit. Now, she's trying to maintain her mental at this point, trying not to go to off. And while she's in the office talking to this asshole who is refusing to give her her paycheck, 2 guys run up on her. They come up in the office. They look at her name tag and they ask a question. They wanted the little girl's backpack. They come up in here, they talk mess to the supervisor. The supervisor, but they're there to rob them. They tell him, get his ass up, go in the safe. So he's in the safe. The code is on there. He didn't open up the safe. He putting the money out there. They said, put the money in the backpack. She doesn't want the money in the backpack because prior to, the little girl's science project was in there. The one that she told her not to mess with in the morning. So she is struggling with them in the backpack. She gets into a scuffle back and forth with the guy with the gun. The other gentleman, because it was 2 guys, the other gentleman is standing in the doorway. And she accidentally fires the gun and kills the guy. Instead of her boss realizing that she has stopped this burglary, that she saved his store, he said, they called your name. You set this up. All she wanted was her check. He tells her, you set it up, you going to jail. He picks the phone up. He's talking. She done already shot a man. Her child is with CPS, Child Protective Services. She don't know what's going on. He running his inconsiderate mouth and she shoots him. She shot his ass. There's money everywhere. There's money everywhere because remember, he was taking out thousands of dollars out of the safe. And what does she do? She moves past the money that's on the desk and locates her paycheck while she still has blood all on her. The blood is on the check. The blood is everywhere. It's two men dead now. The other guy who was in the other guy who was one of the robbers, he ran and left. All she wanted was her check. I said, that's when I knew her ass was crazy. But this is when we know something's wrong because, y'all, she's in poverty. When I say poor, I mean poor. I mean, she owes everybody. She's not even living fucking paycheck to paycheck. She's living minute to minute because there's nothing like having a sick child. And any of us that got children, take care of children, whether they're yours or not, you know it ain't nothing worse than a sick child. And now you got a sick child who you are worried about having a seizure. She done fucking lost that money that was on that table would have been in my little fucking science project. But that's when we realize something is wrong. There is a huge disconnect here because she was obsessed with getting that check. So she gets the check. She goes across the street back to the bank, and Nicole is there. They're closing. The bank is closed. She puts her check up on the window, and the check got blood all on it. Nicole sees her. She's familiar with her. She knows that she needs this money. She said, let her in. They let her into the bank. She is frazzled like a mother. Nicole is saying, I think I see myself in her. Let me give her a break. Nicole sees this fragile woman. This is where she realized she shot her boss. She is sweaty. Her eyes have gone dark. She's fucking out of there. The person behind these eyes, the person behind these actions, she's gone. She's no longer there. This man, she shot this out of him. This was her boss. And now this is what we're left with, a fragile, broken woman who only wants her check. She goes over to the bank. Like I said, the bank was closed. Nicole saw her, which is Nicole is played by Sherri Shepherd. If I haven't already said that. She goes into the bank. She walks up to the teller and she tells the teller, I want to cash my check. She said, so what were your daughter playing with the check? You know, thinking that it's ink or something else, not realizing it's blood. She says, okay, I'll cash the check for you, but I need your ID. She doesn't have her ID. She said it was stolen. Now, mind you, she has that gun. The gun that she just used to kill both of those two men, she still has it. And she has the backpack with the science project that's lighting up. Mind you, that science project was lighting up. So the girl's like, I can't cash the check. I can't, I need your ID, woo woo woo. And she's like, I don't have my ID, please. I need the money. I need my $521. And you at that little grimy ass grocery store, and all your check is $521. But do y'all know that there are some people who make less than that? And sometimes I be complaining about shit. And I'm learning, shut the up. Next thing you know, she uses the gun, and that's it. They were trying to keep it down. Nicole, while she was talking with the cashier and telling her to cash the check, she don't have her ID, you know me. Nicole goes over to the customers and she's like, look, the bank is closed. She wants to try to get everybody out of the bank before stuff pop off. She's trying to get her out of there. The guy's like, man, what the fuck you talking about right now? Mind you, if you're standing in the bank and the bank getting ready to close and somebody tell you to leave, you're gonna have a problem with it too. So I just was like, okay, that was realistic. Okay, what the fuck you talking about? I'm already in here. You gonna cash my check? You gonna take my deposit? Whatever it is, I came in that bitch for. We about to do that. She's like, we're having a robbery. Girlfriend turns around with the gun. Now the gun is out, and they haul ass out of there. Right, the two guys leaving the older people there. Nicole is beside herself because Nicole now sees the little light in the backpack. It's a see-through backpack, and she sees it. So she gets a call from the police. Hey, Nicole, what's going on? Is there a robbery going on in your bank? Because you know the two little guys ran out. So the two little guys run out, and she's like, yeah, there he is. He said, does she have a bomb? Mm-hmm. It wasn't a bomb. It was a science project. So they're going through the rigmaroles and everything. She's freaking the fuck out. She says she needs her check head. Nicole tells the cashier is the teller is hysterical. She's just throwing money at her. Janiyah is saying, I don't need all of that money. Just give me my check. I just want my check. I want my $521. Nicole is saying, cash the goddamn check. Cash it. But Nicole knows her. And Nicole probably knows her from a sister girl, maybe from an aunt, maybe from a friend, maybe from a neighbor, maybe from the neighborhood. She knows that this girl works across the street at the grocery store. She knows she comes in and gets her check. She knows that she has a sick baby, like she knows her. And the thing about it is when you in community, you know your neighbors. That's one thing that I told you all about the District of Columbia. It is community. Whether it's a fucked up community, middle class community, or you know your neighbors in DC because it's very, very community. You see each other go out, you see each other come in, you see the kids, you like you your houses on top of each other, and they got that. So you know it's community. You all are probably going to the same grocery stores and going to, you know what I'm saying, the same gas station. You know each other. You know each other in the community. And so she knows her, but then she knows her. She knows that this is a black woman struggling. She knows all that. Thank you so much, Charlotte, for the $10 super chat. Thanks so much for this review. As always, you're gorgeous and a beautiful blessing to us all. Love you, Auntie Queen. Thank you so much, Miss Charlotte. Thank you. Oh, I'm so thankful to be a part of your family, Auntie, for these years. Yes, you have. Oh my God, 41 months. Oh my God, when I see y'all things come up, it just makes me realize how long I've been out here downtown on the YouTube. Thank you so much, Miss Charlotte. You're a blessing to us. Isn't she, y'all? Miss Charlotte is a blessing. So now we in the thick of this. Janiyah, when she pulled that gun, she didn't realize that you're holding up a bank. When they hit the little silent trigger, and Nicole was trying to like calm her down. They had Detective Raymond and Grimes. They were already investigating the grocery store incident, and they was informed like of the bank robbery. Raymond, a former army negotiator, offers to speak with her. Janae. Was it Janiyah? They begin to build a rapport over the phone. Meanwhile, a bank teller secretly live streams the situation, and this draws public sympathy. Supporters gather outside after Janiyah hangs up. The stream is jammed by police. Raymond, who emphasizes with Janiyah, learns the identity of the threatening officer and has him apprehended because they're trying to negotiate with her. Raymond, who was played by what's her name? Tania Taylor. Tanya Taylor. Oh my God. Let me see if I can find her name. God damn. Teyana Taylor. Okay, who is a songwriter, actress, model, dancer, choreographer, and a music video director. Okay, she choreographed the video for Beyonce's 2006 single Ring the Alarm. She signed a recording contract with Neptune Star Trek. Okay, big, beautiful girl. Big, I mean, but not big, but big in the industry, just beautiful. Did a fantastic job. I didn't know her ass could act. But I heard that she was already in a Tyler Perry movie. And again, as I told y'all, I don't watch Tyler Perry stuff. I usually don't like it. So we got all this stuff going on in the bank. We've got Raymond negotiating with her. They bring in, a Caucasian officer or white officer, if you will, who is supposed to be the negotiator. She asks for the opportunity to do it because she can relate to her. This is a sister. This could be her girlfriend, her niece, her cousin, her mom, her sister, her aunt. She believes that they need to have someone that relates to her. And so they said, okay, you can go ahead and do it. We're going to let you try. But if you fuck it up, it's going to be on you. And so she begins to have this relationship, build this rapport with her. Officer Raymond does. And it becomes very beautiful. The way that she acted this out, she was crying with her. It was like a sister thing. And as Janiyah begins to tell her story, Officer Raymond tells her, I was homeless too at 9. You know, one of the key things that I took away from this movie is that there was no resource for her, for Janiyah. And I'm going to give y'all two sides of the spectrum and how I think about it. And I hope you don't misunderstand and get offended. Sometimes Black women are not heard. We're seen, but we're not heard. And that is in various areas of our life. We're not heard. We're the last ones that should be complaining because we should be grateful. No matter how much education, wisdom, knowledge that we have, there are certain situations and certain places where we don't, people believe we don't belong. So you do, you march and you shut the fuck up. I like that universal. Welcome. Welcome, Universal Love 878. Yep, the doctor's office is one of those places. Absolutely. You have to advocate for every fucking thing. And there's a balance, right? It's not okay for you to go Karen. Because if you go Karen, you're ghetto. It's not okay for you to ever feel entitled. Like you got a right to something. Sometimes you may find yourself having to beg for something that is already yours. But on the other side, people get sick of the begging. People get sick of the excuses that people make for their blackness. They get sick of it. They get sick of the GoFundMe's and the beg me and uh, buying a pair of shoes before you comb and make sure your child's hair's done and sending your kids to school hungry than a mother while you lay up with some man on your food stamps and your tax refund. There's always two sides to a coin. And when we're in this community, we know, we see, and we get sick of that. You get sick of being on buses or public transportation and people acting like fucking fools, loud, ghetto, and wanting to take your that you don't work for. They take your like that. You out there working and hopping and doing what you got to do every day and can't be respected in your own neighborhood or in your own apartment building where the motherfuckers won't move, want to smoke weed. Mother Earth have no respect for you. So, as a black woman, sometimes to another black woman, sometimes y'all get on my nerve. I don't want to be around y'all. And that's just the truth. There are two sides to every coin. There is a head and there is a tail. And so when you see women, mhm, you don't know what you're walking up on. And so some things are self-inflicted wounds. And I know don't nobody want to hear this. I know it's going to be hard for some people to swallow it, but it's the truth. Sometimes we don't like One of the prime examples was that apartment building she was living in, and you got one mother, and they're playing their music all night long. Your baby can't even sleep, and you paying rent in that bitch. And don't say nothing. Don't you say shit. Did you see yourself? Sometimes we gotta have hard conversations. I don't know what happened in her life. I didn't Big V, Big Funny, I didn't. I'm talking about both sides. Maybe you missed it. You might have missed the first part. See, so again, there are times when we're not heard, we're not seen, we're not valued. And there are times when we don't value ourselves, our community, and each other. And we got to do a better job on both ends of that spectrum. But I will not. I refuse to sit here and act like it doesn't exist because it fucking does. We find out later on, as Tanya said, she had mental illness. How many of us know that mental illness doesn't have any respect of race, color, creed, religion? It just doesn't. Mental illness is everywhere. I think for a long time I did not think, it was in. Um, I didn't think it was so widespread. Let me say that. Okay, hi, sweetie. But we knew she did. Janiyah receives a phone call from her mother. After all this stuff is going on, she tells them, I don't want that police officer. I'm not coming out there. Officer Raymond is talking to her from a sister girl's perspective. Nicole is remembering those things that she has gone through because at the end of the day, we all can relate to some of it. I saw myself relating to some of it. Absolutely say I did. I would be a liar if I said some of that I had not related to. And I know that some people say it was not authentic, right? There was no authenticity because things was happening over and over again. But how many of you all know? Like I know that there are days, bitch, when you feel like if one more thing happened, I'm going the hell off. I'ma lose it. I remember one of my friends who was going through something and she stopped in her feet. She said, y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here, up in here. There are times, maybe it's not as dramatic as this, but we all know and have experienced, if we've lived life, right, y'all? We have experienced, bitch, I'm telling you, one more thing happened, I'm going off. I'm going off. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. There are times when you be like, let one more mother say something. Doesn't mean we have, mental illness, but it does mean that there are times in life where stuff just pile up. And there are times when we as grown as, okay, I ain't gonna say we, I'm gonna say me, as a grown ass woman, got to go on my crying my pillow. There have been times in my life where I have had to say, I need to, I need to cry my pillow. I need to scream. I need to yell. I gotta get this. I will never forget losing my parents 5 months apart. 5 months apart, I lost my parents. And just was happening over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Just piling up. Nothing seems like it's working. And then I got this I got to deal with, and that I got to deal with, and I got to grow up like that on that ass. Whole life changed around. And you think that there wasn't times, bitch, I was like, okay, one more thing and I'm going off. One more thing, I'm going to lose it. Which is why I have told you all the story about at my, dad's thing, I was whooping ass at a wake. Because that one more thing happened. While that is not my life, I could relate to this. Like I've never related to a Tyler Perry movie, because I'm telling you, there are times in your life when it be happening and you be like, I'm trying to tell you, it's just one more thing. There are also people in your life that you know that you should be separated from, and you be like, I'm gonna tell you, he or she say one more thing and I'm gonna go to off. Y'all, we have all had those days. Or or if you haven't, maybe the majority of us have. What you saying, baby? I've definitely been there. Hey, Randy, I've been there. I definitely been there with two deaths in my family within 6 months. Absolutely. Tanya, that's true. That's one of the reasons it is not healthy or okay to not get enough sleep. Hey, boo. Okay. Thank you, Wendy. Absolutely, Tanya. When you got to be there for everybody else and you barely got time to be there for yourself. But I pray for you all the time anyway, Tanya. I know what you're going through right now, and know that my prayers is always there for you. Tamika's then said, yes, I lost 10 in a week. When there are crises and things like that, you have to step up. And this girl was going through a fucking crisis where life just got too heavy. They got rid of the police officer. They made sure that he was not out there because she knew he had already threatened her and told her, I'm going to find a way to kill your ass. They got rid of the police officer, and Officer Raymond Matter. What happened was she ended up having a call with her mom. because she kept trying to tell people that about her baby. That was why she needed her $521 paycheck, was to give the baby the $40 so that the principal, and they wouldn't bully her and the principal and then would lay off of her. She had a phone call with her mother. And her mother tells her, baby, your daughter died last night. She was in a psychosis, some type of mental fucking break. She was in a break. She was in a mental breakdown. The cops is at the house and the mother tells her, baby died last night. She tells she gets this information and a reality sets in that she's been Taraji, you can act your ass off because it was tangible, it was palpable. Like you, like I guessed. Like I don't know how y'all got this and how y'all reacted, but I gasped. I lost it. When she said something to Nicole, Nicole said, I knew. They told me last night. And then she has this out of body experience where she believes that she was killed, that they came in and killed her, and they didn't. She had already let the people out of the bank. You know, one of the ladies said she was diabetic. She was like, I'm sorry. She let her out. She let the people out. And it's just, they're letting the people out. She's like, y'all go ahead and go. Go. She opens up the door, lets the bank tellers out. So she gonna take this by herself. And Nicole said, mm-mm, I'm riding with you. We riding this bitch till the wheels fall off. And after the wheels fall off, they're gonna drag us out of here together. She asked her, you ready to go? She said, yeah, I'm ready to go. And these three black women from different walk of lives still have a common thread. They understood each other. They understood where the sister girl was. You have one professional woman who's a bank manager, a professional detective, ex-military, and you have a woman who's been in a war. So for me, Nicole was triaging. She began to understand more about this woman who worked across the street from her in the grocery store. And at the end of the day, there are times when we are all on the same level. We're on the same playing field. And these three women, they did this. She said, I'm walking out with you. Officer Raymond told him what to do. Come on out with your hands up. Turn your back to me. Now turn around and put your hands all the way up, baby. They arrested her. But if you thought that was it, you wronger than a mother. Because they went back and they showed the scenes of her whole day. And the most important thing was her dropping that baby off at school. And there was never a child in the car. Never. Her baby had died. And this is why the principal looked at her the way that she did, not because she had called CPS, not because she had criticized the baby. It wasn't even about $40. The whole entire time, that baby never went to school. She had already broken it. When they showed this, I was done. She never had that baby with her. I bawled. I mean, I bawled. And then I remembered. What the brain can do and what the brain will do. Y'all, they showed this picture. She walked out of that hospital. This is where the break started. It started here. Remember in the first picture that I showed you all with the baby wrapped in the blanket? And the same staff is standing in the same space? This is really how she left out, with an empty blanket. She never left that hospital with her baby. She never left that hospital with her baby. So everything she did thinking this, when her reality was this. That baby was gone. It took her mother. It took her mother to snap her out of that psychosis she was in. It took her mom. You never know what a person is going through. You never know how heavy somebody's load is. And so we have to lead with empathy first. I know in my life, I will admit that I have made assumptions about who people were or are. In a moment that I have some clarity, I make sure I get that right whenever I can. Um, I think that sometimes you can pick up people's energy. Um, I try to help people along the way, and but I think even your strongest friends, you got to check on them, right? Because sometimes you just don't know what the load is. And it's not our job to know what the load is all the time, but it is our job to try to be empathetic as much as possible. There's some days I miss it. And I'll be like, I ain't got time for this. I don't take public transportation when it would be quicker, easier, cheaper. I fucking drive. Because to see the despair some people in um and I don't care, where you live, right? In DC, like public transportation is just like one of the things that I just hate. I don't give a fuck what neighborhood I'm in. So I don't want you to think that, I'm just talking about a certain race of people or something like that. I just don't like public transportation, period, because you don't know who's gonna get in there and what they're gonna get, what their agenda is, and what they're going through. I ain't got time for that. But in my regular day in my life, when I go up to the grocery store, or when I go to the gas station, or when I am shopping in my favorite stores, I am always mindful. I wasn't always, but I'm always mindful that there is a family behind that person's life. There's a family behind that person's job, and that we all get up. We take our asses out to work or whatever respective thing that we do. We do it for a family, for a group of people who are behind us. Taraji, bravo. You played the out of this. Sherri Shepherd tapped into that other side and let us see she can act. The compassion, the sympathy, the rah-rah, the camaraderie between women, phenomenal. And Teyana Taylor, they all held it. I mean, they did this. I'm so glad that I took my guard down and said, I'm going to watch Tyler Perry's movie. Because from my perspective, it was excellent. I saw no flaws in it. And maybe if I go back and look at it for like the fifth time, maybe, but it was excellent. So I'll put this check on my list as one of the Tyler Perry movies I liked. I liked the other one that he did in honor of the women who were in the military. I can't remember the name of it right offhand, but I liked that one as well. But this was excellent. And I want to just leave you with the question: did you see yourself? Did you see yourself anywhere in here? Did you see yourself? Did you see someone you know? Did you relate to it in any way? This movie really did shock me. But the truth is, it was good. Thank y'all so much for allowing me into your homes. And please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that you put your comments down in the comment section. Thank you so much to Tanya and to Charlotte for your super chat. Thank you so much to Raydella, who is always here to make sure that when she ain't traveling, always here to make sure that that the chat is nice and safe for everybody. What you saying, baby? I haven't watched it yet, but it must see with this timely review. It was so good. What are you saying, boo? I drive and used to use public transportation. I like to be a part of public transportation because it gave me a sense of what's going on real out here. However, it's gotten crazy years too. I can't do it. I can't do it. I fucking can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for giving me an hour of your time. You all have a great day. Make sure you check out my live content so that you know what's coming tomorrow. And until we meet again, y'all be safe out there in those streets and in the water. Bye, y'all.